This is the power of a common woman.
The early 2000s on the internet felt like the Wild West. With the popularity of websites like Newgrounds, Flash games were a dime a dozen and varied in quality. Still, one seemed to always appear in random conversations, being Rose and Camellia. So here we are, nearly 20 years later, developer Wayford announced they would collaborate with developer Nagoro to release the Rose and Camellia Collection. While there's an argument to be made about whether or not you should slap someone, this game delivers a somewhat cathartic experience that can ultimately be boiled down to a better Mike Tyson's Punch-Out. That's right, nerds. I said it.
Excellent. I can feel it. Your pain.
So Shunsuke and I are the successors to the house. You have no objection, correct?
The events that led up to the opening scenes of Rose and Camellia Collection had started long before we caught up with the characters. Players assume the roles of a common woman named Rose, who has just lost her husband and now suffers at the hands of the Tsubaki Koji family. And even though she has the right to be the head of the household, she'll need to slap some sense into these royal ladies if she wants to earn their respect. Each scenario allows players to play as a new character, and the story highlights their struggle to accept the reality that Rose is best girl. But hey, more power to them. While Rose and Camellia 1 and 2 have been localized in the past, this is the first time Western players get to play through Rose and Camellia 3 and 4. They all kind of play out the same, but the writing of the story is on another level. This text is tongue-in-cheek to the max, causing me to leave my jaw open in disbelief about what I was seeing or hearing, or just get caught off guard and start laughing out loud because a distant relative came back from boarding school and she looks like a monster. On that note, I will say that this world doesn't care about looks or social standing. If the slaps are fire, you'll likely make it in this universe. Let's stick to the narrative for a bit though. Each scenario features a new playable character, but the list of characters to fight against is around 30. Each character has their own introduction before the fight, so you know who you're going up against. And they all also have a unique win scenario where they taunt you not to try again. These scenes are all voice acted with English and Japanese audio. I really liked the English audio as it paired well with the 90s anime art style, as if you were watching a Kids WB show or something. This even extends into Rose and Camellia versus La Mulana, a bonus scenario where players can unlock from the beginning that features heroines from the greatest adventure of all time as they fight for who's the best character. It's as wild as it is brilliant. Okay, now let's get on to the gameplay. It's pretty basic since there's only so much gameplay here, but I think the experience can be boiled down to a rhythm fighter. When it's the player's turn, they can raise their hand to slap the opponent. You can try to fake them out so they don't dodge too. When it's the opponent's turn, they typically have a tell or timing gimmick that tells you when to dodge. Like Mike Tyson's Punch-Out, once you figure out the opponent's moveset, you can take him down with the correct timing. However, this also means struggling with the Switch Joy-Con. To slap, you need to hold A and flick your wrist. To dodge, you'll need to hold R and flick your wrist. Small movements seem to work fine, but I succeeded better when I really got into it and I wasn't being lazy. Plenty of times though, I knew I dodged, but the movement didn't register. For this, there are touchscreen controls, which kinda makes things easier. One thing that I couldn't find was a collaboration option in the settings, and I'm only saying this for those who have TVs with latency issues. Some slap attacks require precise dodges, which might not work if you have a delay. The entire experience can be brief, but as strange as it is for me to admit, I don't mind playing more just for the slap action. It's almost cathartic in a mindless and goofy way. There's something hilarious about slapping an old maid who just crawled out from the ceiling, and that's not even the most hilarious opponent. This is a game packed full of surprises, whether in the story, opponents, or various slaps flying your way. I was constantly caught off guard. To further the experience, there's also a 2-player mode that provides a test of skills, but there's no online play right now. Rose and Camellia Collection is everything I wanted in a compact gaming experience. It's a game of slaps, and that's what you get. I also love and appreciate Wayford taking the time to preserve these nearly lost or forgotten games and giving Western fans a chance to experience them while also adding in their excellent character illustrations and audio direction. The result was a slaptastic experience that I didn't want to put down until my hands started hurting from all the royal-wannabes that I was slapping. For that, Noisy Pixel is giving Rose and Camellia Collection a 9 out of 10. Thanks for watching. This video is brought to you by our supporters on Patreon. Noisy Pixel is run by a group of gamers providing independent gaming coverage through news, reviews, previews, and more. Check out our Patreon to help support our continued growth, and subscribe to keep up with all our future content.
Noisy Pixel.